So, today I want to talk about something that a lot of people struggle with, and I believe that a lot of people fall into this trap where they try to focus to chase dopamine and they try to put in the work when it feels good to put in the work. So, this is an extremely important concept, right? And I want you guys to really focus on how that actually functions. So, imagine if you consistently did the things that make you feel good. If you go to the gym and you just did bench press and never tried to do a single push up, or if you don't know how to talk to people and you never try talking to people, it could just be that you can't face people. It could even be just the fact that you're not used to even facing people directly in their eyes. It could just be the fact that you are consistently allowing yourself to feel less. It could literally be anything that makes you feel good. So, the mind works in a completely mysterious ways. It tries to take you to a path which is most comfortable, and it tries to chase dopamine. So, think about it for a second. Do you get any benefit from scrolling on social media? Do you believe that if you go through social media and you go through Instagram and you go through millions and millions and millions of streams or millions and millions of reels, do you genuinely believe that you're going to get any benefit out of it? Or do you think that you're doing it just to chase some dopamine? And before you answer that question, be completely honest with yourself. Do you think the things that you are doing, are they aligned with what you want to do or where you want to be? Or are you just doing these things because it just feels good to do? And it's such an important deception that people fall into. And I'm going to expand on this a little bit more. It's important to give yourself some goals that you want to achieve. So let's just say you get on the treadmill and you want to do a run. Mid run, during 2 minutes or during 1 minute, you have this thought. You started off at a complete high. Your mind is feeling all sorts of emotions because now what you've done is, so you get on the treadmill. This is your mind. Say this is the dopamine levels that you want to achieve, and this is your mind's constant boredom. So when you get on the treadmill, you're all excited. You shoot. You feel like, wow, this is amazing. I'm actually doing a run. As soon as you get on the run, you start to look at the time pulse. Your mind starts to go into this spiral and tells you, oh man, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. You stay in there. You stay in there. And most people quit on this line. They think that they're only supposed to work when it feels good to do, or when it's just feels like this is probably the only time that they're going to get anything beneficial out of it. This is a complete false reality, and this is where I need you guys to understand. Your mind is in a dopamine level of state. It cannot focus for more than an extended period of time. This is why Instagram Reels, this is why short form content or anything that keeps your brain a high spike of dopamine is so vital, right? So if you continue to say to your brain that I'm not going to go into this dopamine rush, I am genuinely going to focus. I am not only going to focus, I am going to just keep going. And then your mind will start to say, okay, you know what? This is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Is it actually that bad? Is it actually that bad? Or am I just making these things up by myself? Because your mind is so used to these short form of dopamine rushes, it's not used to actually putting in the work. And This is probably one of the most important concepts. And this is what a lot of people talk about. And this is what consistency and relaxing your mind in a calm state of mind. The best way to win in the game is to stay in the game. There's no magic formula. There's literally nothing else that you need to understand. The only thing that you need to understand is that if you're in the game and you stay in the game for an extended period of time, you will win. There's no other explanation for this. You will win. Now, what do I mean by that? Say, for example, you give yourself perspective, right? So you say, for example, you are an extremely overweight guy and you decide to jump on a treadmill and you say to yourself, I jump on a treadmill and I can't run, and I can't run, and I can't run, and I cannot run. Give yourself perspective that there are some people who can run marathons, who can run 200 miles consistently, who can go much faster than you on a consistent basis. And put yourself in there. Now I understand you need to rest and you need to eat proper foods. I completely get all of that. But you have to understand that these people go through the exact same process. Your mind is in an excited state of form and it's in complete, it's like, wow, I'm on a treadmill, I'm running, this is awesome. And then after that, you get this, your dopamine levels are completely below, like they're not even there. So your mind starts to think, okay, all right, I'm panicking. Now you're panicking. Now your mind's panicking. You're like, what do I do? What do I do? I need to stop. But during that 3-second, just snap of your finger, calm your brain down. Trust me on this. Calm your brain down and have a think about where you are and what exactly are you doing. And this could be a challenge for you. This could be one of the most brutal challenges that I dare you to achieve. I dare you to calm your mind in a stressful situation. I dare you to stay in the run for just 3 seconds and just say to yourself, okay, I'm going to finish this run. Doesn't matter if I feel good, doesn't matter if I want to do it. And your dopamine levels, all of a sudden, your mind starts to think, okay, you know what? It's not that bad. It is not that bad. You're doing the same run. You're not reducing the amount of run. You are generally not reducing the amount of work that you want to do. All you're doing is convincing your mind, controlling these chemical reactions in such a way that your mind starts to think, okay, is it actually that bad? Is it actually that bad, or am I making it up to be bad? And this is why goal setting is one of the most important tools that you can achieve or you can learn. What I mean by is that before making the run, before you actually jump on the treadmill, I want you guys to give yourself a very clear goal. And it could be as small as saying to yourself, I'm going to do 30 push-ups. Could just be half push-ups, and you have to align your goals with your physical limits. I don't want you guys who are extremely overweight or who don't have the physical capabilities to say to yourself that I'm going to just run for 17 kilometers or 20 kilometers an hour for 30 minutes. It's not physically possible. And yes, there are some times when you try to give yourself unrealistic goals, but for a lot of you, the first thing you need to do is just give yourself a very small goal. And you need to say that goal, and you need to I know you somehow believe it, but I want you guys to just genuinely think about that goal. Ever think about it? When you're on a treadmill, say to yourself, all right, this might suck. And prepare your mind. Just say to your mind, all right, this is going to suck. I'm going to do 30 minutes on the treadmill. Now, during that process, what's going to happen is your mind will jump and it will say, wow, this is awesome, for a minute or two. And then as soon as you see the clock, you're like, wow, I've got like 28 minutes to go. And your mind starts to panic. You start to panic, you think about, wow, I'm not going to make it. That's the decision. That right there, if you can control that one bit of moment, if you can control that exact moment right there and then just say, I'm not going to panic. This is not that bad. I'm just not used to it. And then you remind yourself of your goal and you say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to quit anyway. I'm going to go through the pain anyway. And it might take you a while to actually get to that right mindset. It might take you a little bit of effort, a little bit of playing around in your own mindset. But if you can control these thoughts, if you can control these momentarily decisions that come into your mindset, you can genuinely push yourself. Now your mind knows, all right, I can't panic. I mean, I'm already going to be doing 30 minutes. So there's no point for me to make it as more miserable than it already is. So now your mind's going to calm down. All you need to do is, okay, don't panic. 30 minutes. And then this is where your vision comes in. You start to realize, all right, what can I do to calm my mindset? What can I do to calm these nerves? And then you start, all right, I've got to do 30 minutes. So what you need to understand is the more you stay calm in a stressful situation, you will realize that it's actually not that bad. And now, once your mind is calm, you just relax your mindset. You just say, all right, 30 minutes I'm going to do. You will start to feel, wow, it's actually not that bad. And then you make another decision. You make that decision with so much intensity, you say to yourself, all right, because it's not so bad, let me try go a little bit faster. And don't go too crazy on this because it's very easy to fall into that dopamine rush. I want you guys to do this in a very systematic manner and try this in a very concise, and trust me, I've done this a couple of times with my own mindset. When I used to be on the runs where I was lacking sleep and I couldn't do the things that I said that I was, capable of doing. But I said to myself, all right, Hanan, now you haven't had enough sleep. You know you need to take rest. You know you haven't had a rest day. You know that you're low on carbs, and you know that you have to do these things. What if you refuse to believe all of that and you start repeating your goal to yourself and calm your mind? And the more you learn how to calm your mind, remember, this is not just about going to the gym and being athletic. Once your mind knows that it has to remain calm in a stressful situation, anytime a stressful situation comes into your mind or in your life or anywhere, it could just be you've had a bad breakup, because a bad day is coming for all of us, right? Let's just face it. A bad day is coming. I'm not saying live your life as miserable as possible. Please live your life as positive or as the best way possible. But we all know that a bad day is coming. So when a bad day does come in, because you've done this exercise for such an extended period of time, this mindset will start to explore in different areas of your life. So if you had a bad breakup and you said to yourself, okay, all right, Hanan, you've already done the work. You know how to remain your mindset. You know how to calm your mind, right? You've already done it. So is this breakup as bad as I think it is? Or it's all psychological? Because remember, in the end, it's all chemical reactions. Remember in my last videos, I've talked about how the mindset works. This is exactly how it works. Some days you have to tell your mind to go faster, to go crazy. And some days you have to calm the dopamine levels and say to yourself, it's actually not that bad. Once you can control your dopamine levels, it's such a hack. Trust me, it's such a hack. You can go one step further and take baby steps. You don't have to go all in. You don't have to say to yourself that I'm going to go for 1 hour of running and you haven't done it before. And I'm not saying it's not possible. Of course, you're at an athletic level, you can do it. But I'm just saying people who are out there who are struggling to control their own mindset, who are struggling to put in the work, if you try this mental model exercise, on learning to calm your brain in a stressful situation and saying to yourself, no matter what happens, I am going to stay in this situation and I'm going to calm my mind. Once you start to do that, you will realize you're not even 1% close to your potential. You have much more in you than you think that you do. And this is why it's important to calm your brain and calm your mind and calm your dopamine levels in a stressful situation, and your mind and your body and your soul will just be completely aligned with your goals. And I hope this benefits from you. Let me know if you want me to talk about anything specific, or anything that you guys want me to teach you about, and I would love to talk more about these topics. Thank you.